Sex work is work, but don't join the industry. I'm not aware of trafficking if it is happening. As far as I'm aware, trafficking happens in other places. But you might interact with bad people. Like, anywhere in the world, you always will. I can get over that. But the part that's exhausting is pretending to be a fantasy, pretending to be a character all the time. Sex work is work, which means we deserve human rights and not to be treated like criminals. But that doesn't mean romanticizing it. Us who are in it, we have to romanticize it to stay sane. But we're not romanticizing it for you. And if we are, that if somebody is trying to tell, civilians that it's awesome and they should join, then I might go so far as to even say they have questionable morals. Me personally, when I say sex work, I'm talking about the corn industry. And I say corn because I can't say the P word on most social media platforms. I'm talking about the corn industry and the strip club. That is where my experience is. I love the acting side of it. I love that I get to be an actress without experience. That's the thing. This is an industry that you're able to get into without experience. And as someone who was homeschooled and had no real documentation of my education, I didn't feel confident that I could get into a traditional college, and because of that, I didn't see a lot of prospects for myself financially. So this industry has actually helped me. It does help people who don't have a lot of other options or who have explored their other options but choose the industry despite the negatives. Because yes, there are pros, but there are cons. And like I said, being a character all the time is one. Being in situations where you kind of have to buddy up to people who may or may not be bad people. And of course, if you're at the strip club, talking to somebody who's a dick, you have to pretend they're not a dick, in the hopes that they pay you money. Or, in the corn industry, you can choose not to work with certain people if you find out they're bad people. You can always do that. You have that ability. And yes, in the strip club as well, you could always walk away from that person. But in both cases, you could possibly be missing out on income, and not everyone has that luxury. Do I think the adult industry is bad to the point of needing to be boycotted and shut down as a whole and criminalized? I do not. Because like I said, this industry gives opportunities to people who don't have as many opportunities. And I do not think this industry is in and of itself inherently negative. We are catering to the male gaze, of course, and I would say the majority of the people who partake in corn or strip clubs are usually men. So the male gaze. And like that brings in the character side of it, where we're becoming the character that the male gaze desires. That is how we make our income. That's how we're able to make the coveted, girl boss, super, successful people, because we are doing things that other women do not want to do. And for a reason. Because, like I said, even if we're not doing things that we find degrading, playing a character is exhausting. And if you do this job for a long time, you can start to lose touch with who you were before, unless you have, really good compartmentalizing skills. I have lost touch a little bit with who I was before, and I'm trying to figure out who she was. And I don't want to quit the industry because it's fun. It is fun, and it is addictive, and the money can be good. The money can also suck. But the truth is, I no longer feel safe in other industries because of who I am now, which is why it's so hard to get out of it, which is why sex workers work and we deserve human rights and not to be treated like criminals.